So now you've seen how you can use imports to create standalone HTML that you could easily include into web pages. We're going to build upon this and create more of a reusable module. The downside of what we covered previously is that we need to include some JavaScript code to get the template out of the import document. It would obviously be great if the template could automatically add itself into the page that is importing it. And that's what I'm going to show you in this example. Here's the web page we're going to start working on. As you can see, it's very similar to what we worked on before. Here's the starting HTML. I have the script tag that's adding the polyfill for web components so that the web component feature will work in older browsers. I have a link tag with a rel of @import. The href tag is currently blank. We'll fill this in just a moment. Then I just have some basic HTML on the page. You should already be familiar with this. And then I have in my script tag a variable for count and an event listener that's been added to the window and an event listener that's been added to my button. The rest of the code hasn't been filled out, so we'll do that together. Before we get into this HTML file though, I'm going to create an external file that is going to contain the information that we want to include and bring into this web page. I have a new blank document that I've just called O4 Web Imports Components Start.html. It's simply an HTML file, and we're just going to go ahead and create some content that we can use. The first bit of content that I'm going to add to my page is my template tag. Again, you're already familiar with this. The template tag is simply going to hold any content that you want to be able to bring into the browser at a later point in time. This could be anything: text, images, scripts, anything. In addition to the template code that you're already familiar with, we're going to need to add some script to this file as well. The script is going to run when the import file is loaded. So I'm going to make a script tag, and the first thing that we're going to do in the script tag is create a variable called thisImportDoc. This is going to automatically add the template to the importing page. The first line that we've created right here is going to create a reference to the import document itself. In other words, this file that contains the template, it does so by using the document's current script.owner document property, and that's part of the HTML import standard. The next line of code that we're going to create is going to get the template from the file and clone it, and it's also going to append it to the importing document. This code gets a reference to the template tag. We're using the ID that we've assigned to the template tag. And then the last thing that we need to do is we need to add the template tag to the body of the page that is importing the file. We're going to do that by using the append child property. The document keyword here is going to reference the main document, the one that's importing this HTML file. So in this context, the document keyword refers to the page that is doing the importing. In this example, the document is added to the body tag, but you could add it anywhere you want. We'll go ahead and save this component page. Now I'm going to switch back to the importing HTML page that we had been working on previously. The first thing that I need to do is up in my head tag, in my link tag, I need to specify that I want to import our template from the external file. And remember, this always comes below the polyfill. So here's the name of my file that I want to import in. Then I'm going to come down to my script tag that we've already created, and I'm going to modify the script here slightly. So within the document.getElementById, the one that has the event listener assigned to the button, I'm going to get the template and modify the content. We'll query for the newly added template here. So inside our curly braces, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new variable called temple. We're going to use our document.querySelector, and we're going to be looking for or querying for TMPL, which remember is the ID that we assigned to the template tag. Then we're simply going to get the template's content, and I'm going to query for the span tag. This is the same trick that we did in an earlier lesson. This is simply going to increase the count. So every time you click the button, it'll say, this is the first paragraph, this is the second paragraph, etc., etc. The next step is to make a deep copy of the template content and import it into the current document. We want to add this new element to the page. So we're going to create a new node, and we'll import the template content, and we're going to make sure that we're using true so that it makes the deep copy. Remember, that's going to get all of the children elements as well. The last step is that we need to get a reference to the import content div and append the new node into it. So I'm going to use my get element ID. I'm going to reference import content, which is the name of the div where I want the content to be placed, and we're going to use the append child property here. If we save this page and look at it in the browser, you can see when I click my Add New Content button, the content is now added in from that file. And if I continue to click it, new content is going to be added and updated every time. By extracting our template into its own file and adding some script, we're able to create a module that adds the content to the page in which it is being included automatically. This is just the first step in creating a full web component. Hopefully you can already see how useful some of these techniques are on their own. They'll get even more impressive when we start to combine them with other things.